Business opportunities here are wild.
Yes.
It is a land of the free. There's so much room for so many things that need to be brought here. Honestly.
Yes.
If I had more capital, I swear to God, I have so many ideas. There's not even a drive-through coffee.
Oh, really?
No, there's no drive-through coffee in Nairobi.
Really?
Java House, you have to get out. Everything you have to get out. There's no drive-through coffees.
So unlike Starbucks,
yeah,
where you can just drive through.
Mm-hmm. Dunkin' Donuts, there's none.
Really?
None.
See the opportunities.
I have so many things I'd be like, dang, we need this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have capital, you can come and make it happen. So Karibu Kenya. Niaje.
Asante sana, as I said.
Karibu Kenya, so that's welcome. So yeah, you can say thank you a lot. Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Not a quapo. Madase.
Madase is, you speak a tree. You up here speaking tree. Ciao. Niaje is like, what's up?
Okay, Niaje.
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 Yeah, and then yo poa poa.
Poa poa.
Like
Pole.
it's good. Yeah, pole is like chill, like go slow.
Hakuna Matata.
Pole is sorry, but if you say pole it's like slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh my God, my tour guide Hakuna Matata'd me out. Because we were tripping, it was really rocky, so I kept complaining. He's like, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata.
You feel like you're in a movie.
Literally, I was like, Lion King. Oh my God, you're doing too much. But thank you. Uptown. So he's from DC too?
Yes.
Where?
Southwest. I grew up in Southwest DC.
Southwest is like
Waterfront.
the capital. Yeah, like over by the capital. Oh, you got money.
I wouldn't say yay or nay. I wouldn't.
He has money over there on the Georgetown waterfront.
No, not Georgetown.
Oh, just the waterfront.
You're southwest by the wharf.
Southwest. Oh, by the wharf.
Yeah.
They gentrified that heavily. They have gentrified very heavily right now. The wharf isn't the same. The seafood don't hit the same no more.
No, they moved it. They moved Captain White's, I believe. So they moved it, and so it's a whole different vibe.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe. And the baseball stadium is over there.
It is. The baseball, soccer, Audi Field, that's the soccer stadium, and then, of course, Nats Park.
Yeah,
so that's
Nats. Go Nats.
And we're talking about this in Nairobi, Kenya.
We have a surprise guest with us, you guys. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jay Cameron, and you can find me on Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron on YouTube and Jay Cameron Official on IG. So we're here in Nairobi, Kenya. So glad to be here with you, Brittany.
Thank you for coming. I saw your page and it looked popping.
All right, thank you.
So I was like, you know what? I gotta have him. I gotta get him here. I love Black men enjoying life.
And I'm enjoying it right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
It took me a long time to figure it out, though. But now that I have touched down on the continent,
yes,
and discovered everything that they didn't want us to discover,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
So first of all, what were you doing in the States?
I was living my life. I was running businesses and just.
What businesses? We like details.
Oh, okay. Property maintenance. That's my forte, and then I'm in real estate as well.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and I decided in 2018 that I was going to finally come to the continent, and that's what I did in November 2018.
So when did you start thinking of like Africa, almost like?
2017.
2017. What sparked that interest?
The fact that I had never been.
So
I've been everywhere else.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never been to Africa. And I said I didn't want to do that.
You know, people love to go to Asia,
Europe,
Bali, Euro trip. You know what's so funny? Before COVID, I actually had a whole entire Euro trip planned.
Really? Okay.
And then COVID happened, and then I started thinking of Africa. So I was like, thank God I did not go on that Euro trip, because really you need to come home first.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so you're living life. Were you married? Have you ever been married?
Yes, I am.
You're married right
now? Yes, I have 4 children, grown. They're all grown.
They're all grown. Did your wife come? Did she travel?
Not the first time. The funny part is that when I decided to come, she was kind of joking with me. She said, if you go, she said, go ahead and go. But when you come back, we're going to fumigate all the luggage. When you come back.
Oh, just jokes. Just jokes.
So when I got back, my luggage just stayed in the garage for a little while.
She's like, you ain't bringing no yellow fever here.
Right. So,
yeah.
But you know, the funny part is, after I went and came back with no diseases and no problems or anything like that, that's when I decided to bring my first tour.
Okay.
And so we had over 30 people come on the first tour, and so she was paying attention to that.
Wow.
Right.
So you loved it so much, you went back and was like, I'm gonna bring everybody.
I'm bringing everybody.
How did you rally 30 people? Because I did a trip like that in Ghana, and it was like 7 of us, and it was hard.
Well, what I did was I produced a video called the Ghana Chronicles, and that's what put me on the map. And I really took that trip. But I only had a iPhone, I think I had iPhone 8. And I documented everything. And my background was also in video production. So I knew how to edit the videos. I put that video out, and it just went everywhere.
Went viral.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
What made you choose Ghana to go first?
Because I didn't want to go to some place that was just like America. So I didn't want to go to some place that was so quote unquote developed or colonized that I would miss out on some of the authenticity.
Yeah.
But then I knew myself that I wasn't ready for the bush.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, let me go to some place that felt like it was right in the middle. I wanted to go to the dungeons.
Okay.
I just wanted to have that experience. And then I wasn't trying to fly it was my first long flight, so I was afraid of long flights.
10 hours.
10 hours. So I wasn't trying to do 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
But
you took the DC to Accra.
I did.
Yeah.
I caught straight over Dulles right into Accra. And the minute I landed, I became angry.
Why?
Because I knew somebody been playing with my mind. My whole life, they said, don't go to Africa. It's bad. Everybody's going to get you. They're going to kidnap you. They're going to scam you. They're going to do all of these things. So it made it undesirable. But then when I got there, I didn't experience that. Now, don't get me wrong. The challenges are real. But it was not like what I had heard my entire life. So
people paint it to be like this dark space on the earth.
Yes.
Or almost like why would you, if you have vacation time, why would you want to go there? You know?
But then when you come here and you see everybody who's vacationing here. So when I saw the Europeans here, I saw the Asians.
They love Africa.
Oh, they love it. They love it. And that's the part that hit me. I said, well, wait a minute. What are y'all doing here? Living, families walking around, babies, everybody's.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, well, I was afraid to come.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get on a cruise somewhere. You know, it was easy for us to get on a cruise.
Go to Mexico.
Go to, I would have been to Bermuda twice on a cruise. All inclusive. You know, so then I figured out, I said, they did not want me to come here to discover the real wealth.
Your mind.
Oh, the mind. And at that point, I said, I could not leave my people behind. Because I saw it. Now, again, I don't want to paint the picture like it's just paradise. Because, you know, you've been here, you know, you've been in Ghana, you've been in Kenya.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But it's like the opportunities are endless for personal discovery, but then also investment on both sides.
As you organized this trip, people saw you marketed it on your YouTube.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
That's how
so people just flocked towards it.
That first trip they did.
Good.
They did.
How was that response when they got there for most of them?
Well, what I did is I prepared them.
Oh.
So I didn't just bring them cold. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that happens is people just bring them in without understanding our cultural differences. So we're used to certain things. We're used to microwave. We're used to things happening within 3 minutes. We order the food, we come around, it's time to go. Well, we know it's cooked to order many times here on the in different places. Every place I've been on the continent has been like that. So, so I prepared them, and because they were prepared, they had a great time. And then some people have actually they're coming back
by themselves.
No, with us.
Oh, with you.
To do it again.
So your wife came with you on that second trip, though?
No.
Why doesn't she want to come back?
No, she's been. She came at a different time.
Different time.
So she watched and she paid attention, and then she said, "Oh, okay, wait a minute. I think I need to go."
If they can do it, I can do it. Let's go.
And when she came, it changed her life.
Really? How?
Because she realized the same things, and she saw where there's something missing in the story.
Yeah.
And when she went to the dungeons, that's when her whole perspective just
that emotional piece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So have you brought your kids?
My oldest son, he came, and he's even been to Egypt. He went to Egypt by himself. My two youngest sons, they're hopefully coming this year. So hopefully they can come and have this experience, because one of the biggest things for our community oftentimes is a lack of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But we think we've been exposed because we've been in America without realizing the bubble that we're actually in.
There's so much information, but it's so limited. So we think we're really informed, but we're not.
Exactly.
Yeah, it amazes me the lack of African history that I have learned. I'm still learning. And I am an I did African diaspora studies at Howard.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I still am so uninformed, I swear.
Really?
Yeah. The diaspora mainly focused on the U.S. to Africa.
Okay, so...
But we didn't really learn about the Aboriginals or like blacks in Asia or like, just a lot of things.
South America.
The Islamic slave trade.
Right.
Lots of things. It was mainly just that W.E.B., Marcus Garvey, African diaspora type focus. And it just was not. There's a lot of stuff I have not learned. So you have 3 sons.
3 sons, 1 daughter.
1 daughter.
Yes.
What are 3 lessons that you instill in your black sons? 3 major things that you kind of just always
to handle their business and to be, if we're talking about sons, to really understand the systems that are around them, because no one taught me. So I just kind of went out into the world. But then as I sit down with them, I said, watch out for these economic systems, because this world is a global economy. And because of that, now they can be in a position to maybe not make certain financial mistakes that I made. So that's a huge lesson that I have instilled in them since they were born, really. And now the biggest thing I tell them is to travel the world and to live. Don't wait until they're like grown before they start traveling. And now they want to travel. So they have the travel bug. My youngest one is still iffy on Africa. But once I get him here, he'll be all right. He'll be shocked. My middle son, he's asking, come on, can I come over? I said, come on, anytime you want to. He's a chef.
Oh, I love that for him.
So that's what, but traveling, handling their business, managing their resources well, and just making wise life decisions. That's the biggest thing that I can tell them to do, because I didn't have someone to like really coach me through it. And so that's the same thing I tell my daughter. Same thing, as far as just making sure you understand that life is short, and that if you're waiting, what are we waiting for? Yeah. What they say, oh, you're young, you have time. I was like, that's not necessarily true.
How do you know I have time?
Right. How do you know?
I could die tomorrow.
That's the truth, and that's what I tell them. People don't want to hear that, but that's real.
That is real.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. So, what was your experience in Accra?
Very welcoming experience.
Give me some things you love about Accra.
The food. The food.
What's your favorite dishes?
Banku, wache.
That Banku and tilapia hits every time.
Every time. And listen, I got you thinking about it now.
Yeah, dang. Sweet memories.
So Banku, wache, those are my 2 favorites. The people were exceptionally nice.
Yeah.
And the vibe, Accra has this vibe to it that's just it's hard to explain. It's not my favorite. I don't have a favorite, because I find something to love in each place that I go to. But Accra just kind of has this vibe that is familiar, but yet it's very, it still has remnants of the indigenous. Yeah,
it has more culture.
Yes.
Yeah, I made this video when I first got here.
Okay.
It was Accra versus Nairobi, and that's actually where most of the Kenyan followers came from, because they were hating on me in the comments.
What?
They got really mad because I said that Kenya is more like colonial, not colonized, but more like it's just less culture here.
I understand.
You get what I'm saying?
I understand 100%.
Yeah, and I was like, you just have to go to Accra to know what I'm saying.
I understand.
Yeah, the streets just feel more like African. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, and they're like, well, so you're trying to say Africa isn't like a city? Like, you can't be in the city? Well, no, that's not what I mean. It just feels... Earlier you said that Nairobi gives you Atlanta.
Yes.
I feel like Accra gives me Atlanta. It's like that hometown, but energetic.
I can see that. I can feel Atlanta in Accra.
Yeah. Because Atlanta's not that built up. It is, but it's small.
But now, Atlanta's changed a lot over the past.
I was just there a year ago. It's changing, but it's still not a huge city.
So it still has like that small country town feel.
Yeah.
But it also has that transient kind of vibe.
It's busy.
It's very busy.
It's busy, but it's not like
on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. I 20. I take 20.
Oh, you take 20, okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So you love the food, you love the people, you love the culture. How is that compared to Nairobi, kind of?
Actually, they're similar. They're similar.
Tell me how, because I don't
I could
agree.
easily live in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Just like I could easily live in Accra.
Okay.
Nairobi seems to have, well, better roads.
Yeah.
The open gutter situation is not there.
Oh my gosh.
So there's
oh my gosh, just walking in Accra is very stressful. Swear to God.
The elements.
You guys, the gutters are open, like open sewage. It's more covered.
Yes.
Here, which makes it easier.
You can navigate Nairobi differently. The traffic is insane, just like Accra traffic. But I feel this feels more Western familiar, which kind of lends to the colonial vibe, and I recognize that. I was downtown. I think it was downtown today, and I saw the Supreme Court building, and I was like, Supreme Court, and it was a colonial building. The General Assembly building was a colonial building, but it's the same thing in Accra. So they were basically colonized by the same people. So the British were here, or are here, right?
They never left.
Never left. The British and the Americans are in Ghana. So this was kind of more of a British playground. Ghana is more of an American British playground.
I agree. I think that there's also more African American expats in Accra
than here.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because of proximity to the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then I think Ghana did a great job with the year of return, inviting people to be a part. But there's something naturally attractive about Nairobi that brings people here. Because I'm walking around, I'm going into malls, I feel everybody's nice.
Everybody's nice.
So I don't feel that kind of, I've never been to an African country where I didn't feel like the people were nice. I mean, I've had individual situations.
Egypt was weird.
Even in Egypt. Now, that could have been I was a tourist and they figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as, like Ethiopia was cool. South Africa was cool. I'm just going through Sierra Leone, Benin, Togo.
Wow, you've been to all these places?
Yes.
So what was your experience in Ethiopia?
That's a little question there. Ethiopia I didn't expect to see what I saw in Ethiopia.
What'd you see?
Oh, what did I see? Well.
This is a safe space.
Thank you so much. I do. Well, okay, here's the real cool stuff I saw. It seemed like it held on to its indigenous the most out of the places that I've been. So it felt the least colonized from a physical perspective.
It's underdeveloped.
No.
It's developed.
Honest, yes. But it didn't. The people didn't feel as colonized.
I get what you're saying.
They were kind of still holding true to like this is who we are, versus going to other places. You can kind of tell something else slipped in and into the mind. Other places.
What made their behavior different?
Just you could feel the culture. You can see it in their attire. You could see it in how they interacted with each other. You could tell that they're really proud of the coffee and the popcorn. When I went to Gondor, everything now that felt more ancient as far as the castles were concerned. When I went to Lalibela, you had the stone churches, but what threw me off was when I went into the stone churches.
Why?
They had the white Jesus everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that threw me off. That was like, so when I talk about the colonization, physically you could tell they held on.
Yeah.
But psychologically,
aesthetically, it's there.
Aesthetically, something slipped in.
Yeah.
But that's all over, everywhere.
That's everywhere. The world.
Yeah.
Even in Asia, it's everywhere. How was Sierra Leone?
Sierra Leone was cool. Sierra Leone was, I actually got my dual citizenship in Sierra Leone.
You were the second person I know who has dual citizenship in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
You got it through the Ancestry DNA?
I did, from African ancestry.
Yes. Oh my God, Simone did that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because Simone, she was in Freetown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think, it was somebody else. It was a whole group. It was like 60 of us.
Yeah.
And so when
Simone went with you.
Well, I think she was with a different group. And so we all met each other in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, this circle is so small.
And so now I went and got the dual citizenship. Sierra Leone is different from the standpoint of it felt like a cross between Zanzibar and Accra.
You have been everywhere. Zanzibar and Accra. So tell me, I'm familiar with Accra. So what about Zanzibar?
Zanzibar is heavily Islamic, like 99% Islamic. So Sierra Leone, it has a strong Islamic presence, as well as Catholic presence. But so you felt that vibe with the motorcycles, and it just kind of had that kind of feel to it.
Really?
But the people were very nice. Everyone was very nice.
Whose food is better, Accra or Sierra Leone?
Well, I'm gonna go with Accra right now because I spent more time. Accra.
That's what I do miss about Accra. There's no good street food here in Nairobi.
Really?
Not to me.
Really? Okay.
I don't like the corn business.
So they grill corn and you just eat it like that?
Yeah.
I think I saw that in the West also. Where else did I see the grilled corn? Maybe it was in Tanzania.
But in Accra, you can get wache on the road. You can get buffalo in the car.
You can get anything.
You can get anything. Here, the street food is just a little different. Yeah, that's what I miss the most. So you've been to a lot of different countries in Africa. Mm-hmm. If you had to choose one to stay in forever and reside, where would it be? What city?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna give you my top 3.
Okay, I enjoy that.
All right, Accra.
You love some Accra.
I do. Johannesburg. Johannesburg, they give Johannesburg a bad rap, but I don't.
I heard it's dangerous. But people say that about Nairobi.
You see, I always consider the source of my information.
Yeah.
Now that I stayed away from Africa, since I stayed away from Africa most of my life, and I came and I saw something different, it's the same thing that happened with Joburg, same thing with Lagos. They say, don't go to Lagos, it's bad, it's terrible.
That's what I heard.
I had the best time in Lagos.
Really?
The best time. I mean, it's
like, don't go to Nigeria if you're not with a Nigerian.
That's not true. I mean, let me say this. You want to be wise. But I had the best time in Lagos. I've been twice. I've been to other parts of I have a video coming out that's going to talk about an experience. I had 2 experiences in Nigeria.
Spill the tea.
That were not pleasant, but it wasn't because of Nigerians.
What happened?
It was because of tour operators that were not on their job.
Being shady?
I think being unprepared. I think that's what happened. And so what I do with all of my tours, I go ahead of time. Because I want to be taking people to Nigeria. People want to go. So I said, well, I'm going to go. And my most recent situation, I went to a mountain, it was supposed to be a mountain resort called Ubudu. So I went to visit a city called Calabar, which was really nice. Took a 7-hour and 17-minute drive to Ubudu because they said this place is the place to be.
7 hours?
I know.
God damn.
This video is coming. I'm telling you, this video is coming.
I flew all the way here, driving 7 hours, but this better be heaven on earth.
No, it's the opposite. So,
hell on earth.
The minute I got there, they started trying to, they thought I was not streetwise. And I have this joke. I say, I'll tap into my inner Nigerian. I say, I'll make me tap into my inner Nigerian.
Okay, Ola.
So I tapped into it. And so they were like, well, you got to give 200 Naira for us to let you in. I said, well, I'm already here. So I said, but you know what? I'm going to play the 200 Naira just to, here you go.
Simmer things.
So then the guy gets in the car, and we have to drive up this mountain. It's a serious drive. He gets in and he says, well, we get to my room, and then they're talking in whatever language. And anytime that happens, I'm like, okay.
Funny business
is about to go down. I said, well, here we go. They're about to meet a different person. So then they said, well, you need to tip me because I drove you up. I said, stop. I said, I give you nothing. You get nothing. And they looked like, I said, look, y'all are trying to hustle me. And I was like, look, I know hustle when I see it. They got scared. They were like, I said, no, I'm not doing it. So that was the end of that. They didn't have any power. They didn't have any towels, any washcloths, any toilet paper.
That's trifling.
It was the most trifling experience I've had in my life.
How did you fix that with your guests?
No, it was just
you went yourself ahead of time.
right.
Exactly.
So my guests will never see that. I will never take anybody to Ubuntu ever. They can invite me back for free. I will not go back to that place.
Wow.
Because the communication shut down. The tour operator.
How do you not have towels or toilet paper?
It was. I had the videos coming. So just in case, no, it wasn't like that. I have it. I'm sitting there in the dark, and I'm cool. Okay, I get it. If y'all turn things off during the day, but at night, my tour operator couldn't reach them. It was I was.
That's ghetto.
So my folks got me out of there. My team, my staff got me out of there the next day, and I said I'll never
go back.
No. But but it didn't stop me from going to Nigeria, and it didn't impact how I feel about Nigeria. It just impacted how I feel about the Ubuntu so-called mountain resort.
Yeah.
Y'all better not go mess with that. Anyway, so
don't go to Ubuntu.
No, don't do it.
So when you go and plan these tours, what are some things that you have noticed that people like to do? Like, what are some things you kind of focus on for your tours?
Everything. If they want nightlife, I try to make it well balanced. Where they get the culture, they have the nightlife, they get a taste of the food, they get the fashion, they get to interact with the people. I try to have the most authentic experience they can have.
Okay, so how long are they usually?
8 to 9 days.
8 to 9 days. That is awesome.
Yeah.
You were doing the work and like really taking people around.
I would have never imagined that I would be doing this in my life, because Africa was never on my radar.
Yeah.
And then different parts of Africa. And then I'm going to places in Africa, people say, don't go. And I'm meeting the best people in the world. I'm meeting the best people in the places.
Is it like majority men or women, or like a mix?
It's a mix because I target men also. It's like, brothers, y'all got to come. Y'all missing out. Y'all sitting there watching football and in the man cave every week.
And you need to be bringing your black ass to Africa.
That's the truth. That's because what it does is that even though you might see things that might throw you off culturally, it does something to help you understand that the world is bigger than the bubble that you live in in the U.S. And then you start realizing how they've been playing with our mind ever since elementary school. And then they've been giving us bogus history or one-sided history or history that's missing pieces to it. And what I've watched people do, whether they're brothers or sisters, it's like they go back thinking differently. They can't shake it. They go back, I got to get back over there to learn more.
Yeah.
So I say our tours are like samplers. You know how you have a sampler dish?
Yeah.
And you have maybe some wings and some celery and some other things.
You're dipping and dabbling.
And I said, here, try this, and see what you like. Maybe you don't like that, but you might like this.
So you do a lot of research, obviously, before you plan these. You have to go live in the country, kind of see what is fun. This is hard work.
You got it. It is. But I love it though. So it's hard work, but it doesn't feel like work.
So is that why you're here? That's
why I'm here. Because we're coming to Kenya. We're doing a tour in Kenya and Seychelles.
Wow.
So that's going to be a very.
I'll meet y'all in Seychelles.
You join us?
I'll come to Seychelles. Obviously not Kenya.
Right, because you're here, right?
Yeah, but I'll come to Seychelles.
But that's what we're doing, and I also have a tour in Tanzania and Zanzibar.
Wow.
And because of everything going on in Ethiopia, we were going to add Ethiopia, but once things calm down in Ethiopia, then we'll add the Ethiopian tour to it.
How do you utilize like locals?
That's what I do. I go in. By me coming in, I have a chance to establish the relationships. Because my theme on my channel is bridging the gap. So a lot of times what will happen is, and this is something I've seen us do, is parts of the African diaspora from America will come in and do the same thing the colonials did and exploit the people. And so we come in, oh man, it's bad in America and they're doing this wrong in America. And then we come over here and treat the people the same way. So I said, well, if I can't create economic opportunities for the people here, then it defeats the purpose. Because so what I try to do is to find, now this is the challenge, find reputable companies that I can work with on the ground, and then those funds come in, I'm creating an experience for our people while creating opportunities for our people.
How do you gauge who is reputable and who's not?
Spending time with them.
Just time.
Time. I watch. I give them. I would go on a tour 3 times before I bring somebody in. Before I bring
just
one
to
person.
see if there's consistency.
That's it. That's why Ubuntu got scratched.
They missed out.
They missed out. And the video that I showed was like, yo, but Lagos is going to get the love because Lagos took care of me. So
I might sign up for some trips.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you will. I'm telling you, we think everything through. I know us. I know what we like.
Yeah.
First for us, safety. Next, comfort.
Yeah.
So if you take care of those 2 elements, you'll be okay. But for a lot of tour operators, they don't understand that. And they don't understand the mind of the so-called African American or Afro-Brit or Afro-Canadian, just based on how we have been trained. We're coming, I can say leave America in America all day long, but we're looking for America wherever we go because that's what we know. That's what we know. That's what we know.
I've had to do so much unlearning. Here, it's exhausting some days.
Really? What are some things you've had to unlearn?
The way that I talk is very direct. And a lot of people here are like very polite speakers or like kind of passive friendly speakers.
So it's like, please, thank you.
Yeah.
Please. And you're like, listen,
can you
get me such and such?
Yeah, can you go, you know what I'm saying? So I've had to like think about the way that I talk to people. Just like, I can't even think off the top of my head, but it's just been different.
Well, a lot of times, if you had a challenge with your accent, people understanding you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. People don't tell you they don't understand you a lot of the time.
I know what you
That's
mean.
where I go. So, like, even some people who are close to me who are not American here, and I'll be like, la, 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 and they're like,
yes.
And then later I'm like, yeah, do you remember? And he's like, I don't even know. One day I was talking to somebody about a blog. I was like, blog. Yeah, we're doing this. And he was like, yeah. And then like an hour later, I said something about a blog, and he's like, what's a blog? To be like, what is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, you got to tell me. I think sometimes I speak too quickly, and people aren't like, hey, I don't understand you.
So they'll just kind of say yes, and then get the information.
Yeah, just like.
And you're like, and you say, no, I ordered this. Oh, I thought you said this. So that's been an adjustment for you.
That's been not too heavy. They speak very good English.
I noticed that it's a little bit better here than in Accra.
Yeah.
As far as the accent.
The accent is not as thick.
Right, because
the accents aren't as thick. Yeah. So what are some things that you have found in Nairobi that you're like excited to share on your trip?
I was walking through a park the other day, and Pumbaa ran up on me.
A pig?
Pumbaa.
A Pumbaa's a pig, right?
Right. Warthog.
Yeah, warthog. Yeah.
Just right. I was walking.
Damn.
And I looked and I said,
that's never happened to me.
You don't want it?
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I looked and I just saw the 2 little horns or whatever, and I said, okay, this can't be happening right now.
Oh, shit.
And
do you think you could outran him?
It depends. You know, life or death situations, you tap into something you don't know you have. And I just stayed calm, and I looked, and I was like, whoa. And I said, okay. And it saw me and went the other direction.
Good. What park?
What's the name of it?
Karura Forest?
Where the bomas are.
Don't get me lying. I don't know. The Gong Park, Gong Road.
The bomas.
I don't know.
Where the bomas are.
I haven't been there. What else? Nairobi?
The rooftops and the vibe.
15 rooftops.
Yeah, the vibes. I mean, the One Africa. I mean, this is a place I could like really stay for a while.
Listen, I have a ball.
Yeah,
I have a ball in Nairobi. I really do. I'm living. It's nice.
It's an East African gem.
I
never knew this existed because in the West, all you think about is, well, this bad thing happened in Nairobi in '98, and this happened in whatever year. But then you come here and you're like,
it's even our shows though, because like I wish that they would have like a popular TV show in a lot of African countries that Americans actually watch. Because Nollywood and stuff, of course, is there.
Yes.
But Americans aren't. It's not mainstream for Americans. Right. So I feel like that would be the beginning stage of like people like, oh dang, that's Nairobi. You know, like
showing it.
Yeah, showing it is really. So when you have this trip, do you plan on taking them like to safari out and then to the beach?
We're going to Masamara. So we're going. So it's a full trip.
Sheesh.
So you get Nairobi flavor, then you go on the real safari tent, all of that luxury tent. Then we go over to Seychelles.
Wow.
So you get a good dose of Kenya, and then you get Seychelles. Also.
Okay, you don't want to do the Kenyan beach.
Well, I've been to Mombasa. I think the amount of days. So once you start extending it, because we're going to the beach in Seychelles.
Yeah, true. You can not get,
so I had
the same experience.
Yeah, and I love Mombasa.
Yeah.
It's just that I had to determine, well, if I want to do beach, which beach do I choose? Seychelles or do I choose Mombasa?
Diani.
Well, they're also.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of
time.
Whether or not somebody, you think about time, people taking off work.
Yeah.
And then trying to give them as much as possible within that time frame to give them the biggest bang for their buck. And so I think about that. But if somebody wants to come back to Kenya, or if they want to stay longer,
that's their business.
Then, right, and they can do it, but then they would have had a good taste. So they'll know, this is what Kenya has to offer. And there's so much more. Obviously when you start getting out into the ethnic groups, into the rural areas, that's another part of it.
Yeah.
That oftentimes is not even discussed. So, but we like for people to be able to see all of it.
Get that mixture.
Yeah.
What motivated you? So you said that when you came, you just loved it so much, you wanted to bring people back. Mm-hmm. What is it about your tours that make it a little different than the ones that are out there?
Well, the ones that we're doing right now, I'm on. So I'm a part of the now.
You're like, I'm the gift. It's like, no.
That's for real.
Hello.
For real. but it's true. It's true because there's a personal touch that I'm able to put on these tours that people know that they're being cared for. They can feel it. They know it. I pay attention to detail. It's almost like, when you have a child. This is my fifth child now. These tours. And
is it your favorite child? I'm just kidding.
No. I have no favorites.
Parents have favorites. Y'all be lying. Y'all have favorites.
It depends on which day of the week,
Yeah.
But one thing I do is make sure that people are taken care of because I want them to go back, and part of changing the narrative is telling an accurate story from their own perspective. So if someone cares about, that's why I tell people, I say I care about the people on the continent as well as in America, because our stories are so similar. We think we're different, but we've dealt and are dealing with the same issues from the same entities for centuries.
Yeah.
So once we understand,
oppressed by colonizers.
Absolutely. And so when
slavery takes things to the next level, though.
It's the next level.
But it's not a comparison. It's not
no. It's not a comparison, and it's something when people understand the history and how deep the history goes, and then you see the effects. Because sometimes we'll look and say, well, why are they doing that? But then if we go back 50 years in America, we were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is go back 50, 60 years and see what we were doing, and it's the same things that we'll see happening now.
Yes.
So it's that time difference, so it gives me a level of patience to say, you know what? 60 years ago, I remember. Well, I wasn't around 60 years ago, but I see the effects of it. I was like, I remember when this was happening, or when people used to talk like this, or when they had white Jesus everywhere, and in Black America, So I remember that. So it's just one of those things that when people come, they know that someone cares, and they're not just a dollar sign. They're not just they're just coming on a tour, and we're just trying to make money off of them.
If people watch your YouTube too, they probably feel like they know you.
Yes.
So they're comfortable, they know what to expect. So that actually is really smart to connect your YouTube and traveling. I think. And
it is because what they see is what they get. They feel like they already know me, and then I don't change on them when they get there. So it's not like, oh man, it's like
he's weird in person.
Like who he's standoffish and and it's like it's like I ran a summer camp for 12 years. So this kind of gives you a little.
You're used to organizing
and
wildness
and people.
Yeah.
So it's like I was joking with one group. I said I was taking off last summer from summer camp. I said, but they had a lot of challenges. And I said, I thought I was taking off summer camp this year. And then, so the running joke was, well, this is my summer camp.
This is your summer camp now.
But this was interesting. Those same people who went with me to Ghana are the ones who sold out my trip to Egypt and Tanzania.
Wow, that's how you know they love you.
Yeah. And they know I love them.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful.
And that's the thing they know. They know that I don't let them, if they're not feeling well or something's not right, it's not like, oh, whatever's going on.
Fuck off.
Right, I'm checking on them. I'm saying, hey, look, what's going on? How's it going? What do we need to do? You need to rest a little more, no problem.
Yeah.
Even if we have to go into our pocket and make sure that they're comfortable.
I'm just kidding now, yeah.
No, but I mean, that's what it takes.
That's sweet, that's the experience.
But that's knowing our people.
It's a tribe.
Yes, and it's knowing it though. Yeah.
So do you think that all Black Americans, like, you know how you kind of, oh, we need to move back, we need to do this. Do you ever see a large portion of Black Americans actually moving to Africa? Because the percent that actually do is very small.
Very small. I don't know if they should move back. I don't know if everybody should, because Africa is a global continent. America is a global country. We're in a global economy. So moving back is up to each person's preference. But I don't know. See, we have opportunities in America from an economic standpoint. We have access to capital that you might not have access to so readily in different parts of Africa, depending on whatever type of business you set up. I'm bicontinental. So I will be in America because I make my money in America, and then I share and I bring the resources back to Africa. But I spend a whole lot of time in Africa too. Yeah. So it's like, so I don't know if everybody's gonna move back. Now what I will say is this. Let's say someone's retired and they're on a fixed income, say Social Security. They can take that Social Security money and stretch it 4 times. Here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can take somebody who's struggling in America, barely getting by, with the coming to the right location in Africa, because it's, you have 54, 55 countries, different cultures, different cities. But if you take that money and you bring it over here, it can definitely go further. If you think about it, now you can spend the same amount of money here too. You can. You can spend the same.
Trust me. If you want to live like an American here, you can. And it'll cost the American dollar.
It's the same exact money. Yeah. But I don't know if we'll ever see, because we've been so brainwashed in America to think that America is the best. And you have this new movement out there of everybody telling people that they're not from Africa, and people are biting into that.
I'm American. I am not African American.
No, all of that. Yeah, all of that stuff going on.
I'm Black.
All of that.
I can say I'm Black.
And the thing is American. This, if you come here, especially in the West, especially in Nigeria, that some part of you came from that part of the world. Because when I was in Nigeria, I saw people look like my cousins. I mean, literally. I was sitting there like, they thought.
Is that you, Daquan?
Really? I took pictures. I sent it back to the family.
Come here. I'm take a picture.
But it was real. But I looked
at it. You can see yourself.
It was unlike, Nigeria is probably the place that I felt the most, I don't want to say comfortable, but the most familiar culturally.
Do you feel that vibe when you're in Kenya?
Because of the westernization, yes.
No, I mean seeing yourself.
Nah, not the same way in Nigeria. Not the same way as in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria was someplace that the people in Nigeria were shocked when I said that I was not born in Nigeria.
If you kept your mouth closed, you definitely give Muslim Nigerian.
But that's what they say, Igbo or what?
Yeah, you look like an Ola.
Okay, but they could not believe it when I said, they were like, so what state do you come from? I said, well, I was born in South Carolina.
What part?
Charleston. I was born in Charleston.
Okay.
What part are you from?
Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, so you're 26, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you born in Columbia?
Yeah.
Really?
So my family's military. I was born in Columbia, South Carolina. Then we did Fayetteville, North Carolina. Then we went to Fort Belvoir.
Okay, so you
up in Woodbridge. Yeah, just slowly on.
Yeah.
Lived in San Antonio for a little bit.
Okay.
In Texas. But my dad is from Miami, and then my mom's whole family is from Columbia. So they both joined the Army. And then my mom went straight into training because, you know, Fort Jackson in Columbia.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so South Carolina. All right, so see, you might.
I'm a good old country girl.
Have you done your African ancestry yet?
I did not do the African ancestry. So I did the ancestry DNA.
And what showed up?
Congo and Ghana.
Okay, Congo and Ghana. Yeah, that sounds that West African.
I don't know. I gotta get the try. I feel like I'm not Congolese.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a lot going on.
I don't know.
Those of us who are part of the African diaspora in America, I should say, we have that mix of everything.
Yeah, that's true. You don't know what you really are. You really don't.
But once you get the tribe from African ancestry, then that kind of pinpoints.
Yeah, exactly where. Yeah. I told Simone, girl, I'm trying to get my citizenship. I need to figure this out.
Well, South Carolina definitely puts you in a real possibility for that.
Yeah.
Because South Carolina is Freetown and Charleston. They consider themselves to be sister cities.
Wow.
So Freetown, Sierra Leone, Charleston, South Carolina.
You know, what's funny, when I did my ancestry DNA, they show you where your bloodline is in America too.
Okay.
And South Carolina showed up. And I was like, dang, how'd they know I was born in South Carolina?
But you might want to check it out.
This is the feds.
But I'm telling you, go check it out.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's interesting.
But those are the things that, you know, I think about. You know, you're talking about if I see an exodus, I think that might be part of the plan, the global plan. Now, this is a little bit deeper, so if you ever watch my channel, I get deep with it. But when you talk about economics, you got to understand slavery was about economics.
Yeah.
Cheap labor, resources. So what they're doing, they're gentrifying West Africa. That's why you see all of the development in Accra.
Yeah.
And Lagos. And Freetown. So all of this in Abidjan.
Is it gentrifying or just like developing?
It is gentrifying.
Why?
Because they're always looking for ways to make money. The same players are playing the same game.
Yeah. You know, Accra is getting too expensive.
It's very expensive in certain areas.
Crazy.
In certain areas, you go to Trusacco,
it's just not even it right now.
But people are going there.
That's why it's getting expensive, and it's actually really bad for the local economy.
Well, think about it. Well, yes and no. See? So it's like that, all of that Western, Asian, Indian, Lebanese money, European money is coming in. It's building everything up. So now, if you notice, you're starting to see more Asian, Indian coming to establish their lives.
Yeah. One thing about these African cities is they got some casinos.
They do.
I was not expecting that when I came here. I'm like, God damn.
Well, like, how y'all have the casinos? And y'all barely get.
Y'all don't even have sidewalks.
Yeah, y'all got casinos. But find out who owns the casinos.
So when are you going to stop doing what you're doing?
I have no plans on stopping what I'm doing.
You never want to really retire?
No, I have no plans on retiring. A very wealthy man told me, very wealthy white man told me this. He is probably 95, 96 now. And I said, George, do you ever plan on retiring? This probably was 10 years ago. He said, no. He said, because the minute I retire, that's when I'm going to die. He said, my father, and his father owned a furniture company in D.C. And the Big Chair, I don't know if you know the Big Chair in the Southeast. And he said that his father worked until he passed away in his car on the way to work.
Damn. Was he driving?
I hope not. So they said he found him on the side of the road.
Damn.
But he said
he lived a good life.
He lived a very good life.
Yeah, he lived a good life.
And George is living a good life. And George is still going to work every day. Multi-millionaire. So I paid attention. I said, I have no plans on retiring. Now,
are you a millionaire yet?
I am.
Oh.
See, you're all in my business now.
I'm sitting next to a millionaire. That's good.
I had to pause for a second.
You're like...
Because you know how the folks are.
Are the feds watching? No, he's not going to loan you money.
No, I will not.
Cousins, I ain't got it.
No, and they know. All my cousins know. They don't even go down there.
Don't ask.
But that's one of the reasons why I can do what I do.
Yeah.
Because I have the flexibility.
You live freely.
Yeah.
You're out here living.
But you don't have to be a millionaire to do it.
You don't.
You can just make wise decisions and really pace yourself and learn where you want to be and discover it. I mean, again, Accra, Nairobi, Joburg, Lagos. I mean, you go, what's some other places on Addis, Dar es Salaam.
Yeah. So how often do you do these trips?
We have, this year, we're bringing almost 500 people to Africa this year.
Wow.
So right now.
Mainly Black Americans.
Yes.
Do you ever have white people on the trips?
We have not yet, but they're more than welcome to come if they are true to our story. Because sometimes you can get people and now we want to make it all palatable to make them feel comfortable. Nobody's trying to make anybody feel comfortable.
Yeah, you guys, so basically you got to be a blackity black white person.
No, here's what's interesting. I've had white people reach out to me who have adopted Black children. And they don't want them to lose their culture. Because they know white America, even these white people don't know white America.
Even if you try, you just can't because you're not.
Right. So they want them to have the experience. And so they're more than welcome to be a part of it. It's just that we're not one of those companies that is trying to exploit
that.
Or they're trying to exploit white people. Because you can exploit white people in this too.
Yeah.
You can say, hey, just come on this trip and see the castles and go to Accra and see what the poor Black people are doing and see how you can help these poor Black people.
Oh my God. Activate the white savior in them.
Yeah. It's like,
you're not
I'm trying to kill the white savior. I'm trying to say, put him to death because we don't need you to come save us. Because we can save ourselves. But if you're interested and care about our story, the way that you want us to care about your story, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Queen of England, King Louis, and all of those stories that they want us to care about, then care about our stories.
Yeah. You know, sometimes when I visit slave dungeons, like Cape Coast and stuff, it's almost like trauma tourism, though, to me.
Okay.
So I've thought about that. It's even like plantation visits.
Oh, yes.
In the South.
Yes,
it's just like, what am I here for? Like, you don't want to tear them down because of the ancestral spirits. And I'm just like, when are we going to stop visiting this?
Well, I think there are two parts to it because some people have no understanding of it. So you remember in America, they told us our history started with slavery. So then some of it, one of the reasons why we do it is for the context, to say this is what happened, this is who we were before this. So basically this represents a processing plant where people's ethnicity was altered, that the ethnicity was altered. And so then when they came in indigenous. When they came out, their minds were messed up, they were physically messed up, they were raped, abused. This is what happened, and we're descendants of what happened in this place. And many of the things that we're dealing with in America are a direct result of what happened here, but yet in the history books, they don't want to tell us about the brilliance. So what happens is we want to disassociate with this. I'm not a slave, without understanding that someone had to live to make it across in order for us to live. And the people that they chose were the ones who were the smartest, the strongest, and those were the ones who made it across. So when we look
that's why Black Americans are pristine.
Well, that's one of the things that makes us very unique in this because we have. But here's the sad part: a lot of times we don't know. So I want us to know. You know what? Yeah, we have challenges in America, but let's look at this other part that they don't want us to know. Just like they come over and they live and build their paradise here. Yeah. They don't want us to know because they want us to think that we're disadvantaged, that we're somehow
marginalized,
deficient.
They don't want us to live in empowerment amongst ourselves.
Right. And it goes back to mindset.
Yes.
And once you start to know the real story,
it can't be undone.
You show up. You show up differently in America. Like, let me get my credit fixed up.
Let me get my shit together.
Yeah, because you see, wait a minute, I do have opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's a goal ahead that you see kind of.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Usually I ask dating questions, but you're married.
Right. So
give me some advice on how long have you been married?
23 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are 3 things that you do to make it last forever?
Oh, you're going to be taking the key sweat.
Make it last
Well, you know, one thing about marriage is that you go through cycles. Because you're not the same person you were, I was going to say 23 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when people get married, they think that, oh, I'm going to be the same person. Let's say, especially if they get married in their 20s.
You've changed.
And you do.
Yeah.
You do change. But a lot of times people don't want to admit that they've changed. You have different life experiences. You begin to learn things differently. Each person might not learn at the same rate.
Yeah.
So one thing is being patient. Being patient with the journey. Because the journey is just like anything else, ups and downs. If someone tells you, well, and I can't speak for everybody's journey, but the majority of people tell you that everything just goes like this.
It does not, sir.
They're either lying to themselves or they're lying to someone, but we're human beings and we're learning something constantly. So I'm thinking back to the person I was when I got married. I was so naive. My expectations were not realistic. I didn't know anything about what it took to raise children and to be a husband and all of that at the same time because I didn't have that training or the training I had was not the best training. So my thing is, the first thing is understanding that things will change.
Things are going to change.
There's no doubt, especially when you start introducing children, that things are going to change.
Yeah.
So it's just showing, and it could be for the better, it could be for the worse. But it just depends on whether or not someone wants to
change with you.
Right. And you don't know.
Okay. What's another thing?
The other thing is having a good financial conversation and really being on the same page.
Financial transparency.
Yes. And philosophically being on the same page.
Having the same spending habits and goals.
Yes. And I would say even the goals, because some people might spend differently, but if you're going towards the same goal,
it's fine. Yeah.
And you can build,
money is the root of a lot of relationship issues.
Yeah, I would have to think there's probably at the top.
Yeah.
Because people have different philosophies.
Yeah.
If someone spends all their time watching TV and wanting to be like what they see on TV, and another person saying we need to invest for the future, and we need to build, and we need to, the other person's like, no, I'm living for the day.
Yeah.
So there's going to be friction.
What is something that you really love about your wife?
Oh, goodness. The fact that she has tolerated me for 23 and a half years. Because that is no small time.
I'm glad you're self-aware. Child.
I'm very aware. I said, whoever can tolerate this.
Wow, well, good for her. I really appreciate you coming here. We're coming up on an hour, so I'm going to wrap it up.
Yes.
We're going to put your links down.
Sure.
Join his tours, you guys. He's a vibe. It's fun. It's organized. I'm going to go. Honestly, I'm really going to go. He's here in Kenya. How long are you going to be here?
I will be here another 3 or 4 days, and then, 5 days, and then go to Seychelles.
Okay. Well, welcome to Kenya. Guys, support him down in the links. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Follow his channel as well. He YouTubes. I need to binge watch your channel. I haven't really watched, so I'm going to do that, and I'll see you guys next time.